We love happy endings in this country. It's in everything we watch. Movies, The Pursuit of Happiness. It's in the title, Will Smith. Castaway. Actually thought that island was kind of sweet. Didn't see what the hurry was. And in sports, the 72 Russians in the Olympics. But one thing happens in all of these happy ending stories that we love so much. It's a great comeback. And I believe right now in this country, we have two of the greatest comebacks that we've ever seen. Matthew McConaughey and Alex Rodriguez. Let's start with McConaughey.
All right.
Now, in the beginning, we loved him. Out of the blocks, like Ben Johnson. Dazed and Confused. We all loved that guy. We're like, what's up with that older guy with a sick car that's buying beer for everybody? I almost became that guy, not about the buying beer thing. That was more in college because I was still in my town like 4 years after the fact. Don't freak out about it.
You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
But then he went on this run where if he were a buddy, you'd be like, what's up with him lately? Sahara, Failure to Launch, Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. I actually dated one of the girls in that, and yeah, she was hot, thanks. Surfer, Dude. Remember that one? Report said waves.
That's a lake.
He was 2 busts away from selling Ninja Stars late night on the Home Shopping Network, where you're at home going, you know what? I don't have enough Ninja Stars in my house.
My man, what has happened?
But then boom, Dallas Buyers Club, loses a ton of weight, wins an Oscar. An iconic role in Wolf of Wall Street. And obviously, Rust Cohle just tanking beers and ripping darts on HBO once a week. We liked him again. It was real. But even with all that success, you know what seriously is like the big McConaughey's calling a shot moment? Starring in Interstellar. Can you imagine Christopher Nolan years ago saying, you know what I want to do next? I want to do a serious movie about space, time travel, science, black holes, but I want the lead to be the guy from Fool's Gold. That would be like Rudy Giuliani getting a political podcast at the Ringer. Not likely.
Let's get on to the point.
Now let's talk A-Rod, okay? Because you could argue his highs are higher highs than McConaughey's, but the lows are even lower. But he's the #1 pick in baseball. He's the consensus best player in baseball. And about 20 years ago, he signs a contract for $252 million, which has still only been surpassed a handful of times, once by himself on his own contract extension. So he gets to New York, and it gets bad fast. 2004, they blow that lead to the Red Sox in the ALCS. 2007, Canseco says A-Rod's a PED user. He denies it to Katie Couric in a 60 Minutes interview.
For the record, have you ever used steroids, human growth hormone, or any other performance-enhancing substance?
No.
In 2009, Sports Illustrated says A-Rod actually did test positive in the anonymous testing in 2003. In 2010, after he's apologized to Katie Couric through Peter Gammons, where he uses this unbelievable line, which dudes need to remember when you're trying to get out of something: I couldn't be honest with you because I couldn't be honest with myself. In 2010, he's linked to a Canadian doctor. In 2013, during the biogenesis investigation, A-Rod is named again, where he gets into this huge public battle with Major League Baseball, eventually being suspended for an entire season. Side note, the PED thing never really bothered me that much, and I know some of you think because I use them. I don't. Every accusation, by the way, is a compliment, so thank you. But I think Yankees fans are probably more upset that back in '06 he was so bad in the playoffs he got dropped to 8th in the batting order. You know what really bothered me the most was after the biogenesis investigation, where A-Rod's named, he's going to get suspended, he's going to lose all this money, he's been shamed here, but allegedly his own camp leaked other players' names to try to get the scent off of A-Rod. Are you serious? Hey, let's give up Francisco Cervelli, the backup catcher. That'll get him off the scent. And Ryan Braun. I'd actually be more upset about the Ryan Braun thing if Ryan Braun didn't end up being the worst guy in this entire story, where Braun allegedly accused, after calling other players in baseball and saying, you know what, this guy collecting piss, he's out of control. He's out to get me. He's a Cubs fan. Do you know how bad of a dude you have to be to ruin the reputation of a man whose profession is collecting other men's piss? And guess what? Once he couldn't lie about it anymore, he got popped too. So how did we get to here, where everybody just sort of accepts it? He had to at some point remind us that, you know what? Big smile, likes talking baseball, looks pretty good on a TV set. Hell, let's give him Sunday Night Baseball. And let's get Jenny from the block a press pass too, and we'll stick her out in the monster seats. And everybody was sort of okay with it.
Unbelievable. What can I say?
Now, who won this thing, right? Because that's what we're here to do. McConaughey or A-Rod? I'm going to tell you a story about a good friend of mine. He was talking to one of our other friends, and my friend wanted to move to this other city, and my friend said to him, you know what? There are bigger opportunities for you in this city, but I'm afraid if you do make this move, you still have an opportunity to reach lower lows than you're currently at now. God, as I say that out loud, that's the meanest advice anyone has ever given anybody. And that's what I think is the deciding factor here. It's not so much that McConaughey reached the lower lows of A-Rod, because A-Rod's lows were certainly lower. It's that McConaughey may be more celebrated, but that A-Rod is just accepted. And that's the whole point. So it really feels like a tie. But I'm going to go with this. We don't have any footage of McConaughey making out with himself. Not to say that it hasn't happened or doesn't exist. I've just never seen that footage. And that's why in this first face-off, I'm ruling McConaughey.